This is how we did it back in the day. You see all these in here? These are bearings that actually went in here. These are actually wooden wheels. These are made by Chicago. And these bearings went in here. They were free-flowing bearings. They would sit right in this little cup, if you will. And then you would take this screw right here to hold the bearings in. And then you would be able to oil them or whatever. And they were just, you know, just hanging out. So we've come a long way as far as bearings are concerned. They're nice and sealed now. They even put little covers on them, and they come in all different colors, so you can kind of, you know, make them stand out or whatever. If you've had your skates for a couple of years and you've never even looked at your bearings, now is the time to do that, please. Please, please, please. Please clean your bearings. You think about, like, if you're on the floor, on the skating floor, and you know, you've got people that roller skate outdoors, and sometimes they bring their skates to a roller skating rink and they skate on that same surface. All of that stuff, that dust that gets kicked up, sometimes you get hair wrapped around your axles that get caught in your bearings, like all of that stuff. You'll be surprised at what your bearings will look like once you take your skates apart and take your wheels apart. You're gonna be like, oh my God. So I guess the first thing I want to start with is the difference between 7mm and 8mm bearings. So you've got this. Here is, that is a 7mm bearing, right? Here is an 8mm bearing. So let me bring it down here so you can see it on the other phone. So that's the difference between the two, right? So I have right here STD Elio frame. It's got 7mm axles, right? Here's your axle on your frame, okay? So if I take this 8mm bearing right here and I put it on this 7mm axle, it's gonna flop around. You see that? This is very, very dangerous. Don't do this, okay? Make sure you have the right size bearing for your axles. So if you see, I put this 7mm bearing on here, it's nice and snug. You see your Avenger right here. This is made by Suregrip. It's got 8mm axles on here. So I'm going to take this 8mm axle and put this 8mm bearing on here. You see how it's snug? Nice and snug, right? But if I try to put this on here, it's not going to work. It's too small. I took the cover, which is on your bearings, off of this bearing right here, and you can see that the balls are ceramic on the inside. They're white. Can y'all see that? And then you have regular bearings, well, not regular, but ball bearings that look like this. You see, you can even see the balls on the inside. They were asking, like, how do you clean your bearings? What can you do to clean your bearings? Easiest way, I would say, first of all, don't use WD-40 on your bearings, y'all. If anybody's ever told you to use WD-40 on your roller skate bearings, do not use it, okay? Don't. So basically, what you would do, you take this right here, unscrew it, and you take your bearings after you remove the covers, and I'll show you how to do that too. But you take your bearings and you just, you know, line them all up on here. Then you put this back in here. You put your solvent inside this bottle right here, and then you just shake it up. You agitate it a little bit, let it agitate for a couple of minutes, and then you take it out and you dry it off. Turbo wash, right? This thing has like a little agitator bucket in here. You take your bearings after you take the covers off, stick it in here. You agitate it for a little bit. It washes your bearings for you, and then once they're dry, you lube them up, right? This is the lube that I use on my bearings right here. It's made by Liberty. Just a synthetic type lubricant. Put a couple squirts in there before you put your covers back on your bearings, and they'll stay nice and, you know, lubed up. Maybe take a look at them every 6 months, depending on how much you roller skate, but especially if you skate outside. Bearings and the importance of cleaning them, making sure that you maintain them, because they are very, very important to your skating experience. Please, please, please take care of your bearings. If you have questions or anything like that about your bearings and you're not sure, you can always reach out to Shawnee Skate House. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. So, and I'll show you that too. So I'm gonna put 2 bearings in this wheel over here, and I'll show you how you can actually take them out. So, hold tight, hold tight. I'm going to do 8mm just for this one, for this exercise. So here is my bearing press. Handy dandy bearing press makes my life so much easier. So all I did was I'm just basically pressing these bearings inside of these wheels, right? So now the bearings are in the wheels. So if you want to take your bearings out, you can use one of these handy dandy tools, which is a bearing Bones bearing tool. It pulls your bearings out for you, right here. Or some people pry them out. I'm not a fan of that, but you know, hey. So I just have this pull, and I just pulled it out, just like that. Here's your bearing. I'll do it again for up here. So I just took this, pulled it out. Very simple. And then what you want to do is you want to find something that you can get underneath here and pull off the cover of your bearing, right here. And that's where all the meat and potatoes are, right there. Those are your bearings. This is the part that you want to, you know, get to. You want to make sure that you're taking care of those bearings inside of there.